Good evening and welcome. You are watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. After much fire and fury, finally the censor board stepped into the Pathaan row and decided to strike a balance between creative expression and sensibility of the audience. But while the board stressed that the film has gone through the due examination process as per guidelines, it also sent out a strident message to the boycott brigade. But first, let's take a look at exactly what the censor board has directed the makers of Pathaan to do. Change in action scenes that show extreme harmful acts and blood. Change in the lyrics of 2 songs, although the names of those 2 songs are yet to be disclosed. 20 seconds are going to be cut on song sequences, apparently to limit their timeline and maintain harmony by editing scenes that quote-unquote create an objection in the viewer's eye. Now, after making it clear that a right balance has to be struck between creative expression and the audience's sensibility, the censor board also drew another line in the sand. A solution must be found after a meaningful dialogue with all stakeholders, it said, and that the trust between creators and audience is the most important, so film creators should work to make it intact. And finally, an unequivocal message. Culture and faith. These issues are glorious, intricate and nuanced, and no one should let them be defined by quote-unquote trivia. But even this balancing act hasn't really cut much ice with the centre's critics, who are calling it an illiberal act which sets a dangerous precedent in democracy.
Why this afterthought? Great people are sitting in the censor board, and they saw in details and cleared it. And after seeing that some communal forces raised voices, so they are backtracking. I need their censor board should be comprised of more serious people than now these light-hearted persons.
ये भी एक नए प्रकार का है. ये नया स्वरूप है कब्रिस्तान और शमशान का. ये धार्मिक ध्रुवीकरण की एक नया अंदाज है, और अब इस अंदाज ने फिल्म वर्ल्ड को पकड़ लिया. फिल्म सेंसर बोर्ड की एक 25 आदमियों की कमेटी होती है, 60 आदमियों के अंदर उसके अंदर और नॉमिनीज होते हैं. वो देख दाख करके फिल्म को क्लियर करते हैं.
Censor board will have to justify if it suggests any changes in the already passed films. The censor board will have to convince the producers that the demand of the censor board for changes in the already certified film is the need of the hour and is according to law.
The kind of a controversy Pathaan movie was raising on the communal lines is not fair, and I think that dividing the audiences on communal lines is not fair. If somebody is using something, yes, the movie makers should also make it a point not to hurt the sentiments of the people, but the people should not be so much paranoid about it that a color of a dress is not depicting any religion.
But the criticism aside, has the censor board set the controversy about the film Pathaan to rest? By taking a fair and unbiased approach, has it set down the line both for the outrage brigade as well as filmmakers?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, Nasir Abdullah, actor, Kamar Zaman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress, actor Kasturi Shankar, Acharya Vikramaditya, spiritual guru. But my first question is Professor Sangeet Ragi, political analyst. It's important and interesting that the censor board has said, and I quote, "I must reiterate that our culture and faith is glorious, intricate and nuanced, and we have to be careful it does not get defined by trivia which takes the focus away from what is real and true. To reduce culture to the issue of a bikini worn by someone," Professor Sangeet Ragi, "was reducing the idea of culture itself." And it's the censor board saying it.
Padmaja, is art and culture all about demonstrating and portraying nudity and obscenity? Is it the kind of culture that we talk about? What is the art in that? What is the creativity in that? What is the difference between the poster that we have seen, the difference between pornography and the kind of obscenity that is displayed in the poster just to create market for the film? What is the why the depiction of Saffron as a besarm rang? It's a very important question.
It's
and
not.
This important,
it's not actually, because the censor board itself says, and I quote to you another part of it, sir. Just a second. First of all, they are saying, as far as costume colors are concerned, the committee has stayed unbiased. When the film comes out, the reflection of this balanced approach will be clear to everyone. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that these saffron bikinis are pretty much going to make the cut when the film releases also, because the board is saying that we have been unbiased about the color of bikini, this, that and the other. Again, let me ask you, is the idea of culture so shallow that we are going to reduce it to something that a woman is wearing? Is this all that there is to culture?
Padmaja, the country or the culture which cherishes the Kama Sutra of Vatsayan, the culture which celebrates the temple of Khajuraho, we have postures in different way. Kama Sutra is a shastra in India. It is not just like any other work. The point is that the saffron color is also one of the colors which depict our civilizational identity. That's a reality. The sadhus and sannyasis wear that color. The flags that we unfurl on precious occasions like Ram Navami and others, it is saffron. The only point is that why do you do it, Mr. Shahrukh Khan? Why do you do it, Mr. Salman Khan or other Khans?
Not true.
Why?
I'm sure you've seen it, but okay, before I get into it, let me bring in Kasturi to respond. I really think that to narrowly say that Salman Khan has done it because he is Salman Khan, or Shah Rukh Khan has done it because he is Shah Rukh Khan, but Deepika is Deepika Padukone, then why did she do it? Not to mention that we have seen posters, I'm sure you would have seen it by now, of Akshay Kumar also doing it with Katrina Kaif. Now you could argue she is Katrina Kaif, so she's wearing that sari. But Akshay Kumar clearly has no problem, sort of being with her in the rain at the time that she's wearing a saffron sari. Or Ravi Kishan, or Manoj Tiwari, both of whom are now members of parliament from a cultural party.
Padmaja, I am talking about the pattern in the film industry, Mumbaiya film industry. I am mentioning it only because there is a film called Pathaan, and at the same time the song has somewhere mentioned Besarm Rang. What is that Besarm Rang? The saffron color? Why not green color? Why not depicted in green color? This is my question. Senator, just a moment.
Okay, let Kasturi respond to this. I just quoted to you. I quoted to you examples, sir, of Akshay Kumar, of Ravi Kishan, of Manoj Tiwari. There are others also who are not Khans.
Padmaja, 10 seconds.
10 seconds, but Padmaja, again, I want to come back to the issue of culture.
Yes. I think that Padmaja, it gives impression as if the entire Bollywood is facing the crisis of ideas. The ideas, the innovation in scripting, therefore they are selling the body, they are selling the nudity, they are selling the obscenity. This is not what constitutes of Indian culture, sir, at all.
You can have a Pathaan coexist with a Tanhaji. You can have a film which shows a bikini coexist with another one that is talking about, Shivaji. So all of that can coexist. You don't have to be one way or the other. And just as a small aside, in this song, at least Deepika is by the seaside. Most women choose to wear swimwear, bikini, two-piece, whatever, when they are by the sea. Go on. Kasturi. Is this our culture?
Yes. Yes, everything is our culture. I'd like to say what our culture is or is not to be defined by the CBFC. Is there to certify content, not to necessarily restrict it. Regulation is different, certification is different, but to define this is what culture is, this is what content should be like, I don't think that is under the purview of anyone, because culture is subjective and something that keeps changing over time. My grandmother did not wear a blouse. She only wore one garment, which was her sari. Today, that would be considered indecent. But in her time, wearing a blouse was considered a symbol of British debauchery. So, you know, this is, I think, it's a big overreach on the part of the CBFC. And it's a tragedy, actually, because I don't think they're acting on their own. It's an autonomous body whose autonomy has been severely compromised, and people like us from the film industry are very, very, we are disappointed and dismayed that the Central Board of Film Certification can go back and set such a dangerous precedent as a double censoring of a movie that has not yet to be released. If the movie has gotten a certification and it's ready for release, okay, release ho gaya, there was a huge issue with that. Yes, then the movie can be reconsidered. But here, everything is being done unilaterally by the censor board.
Okay, that's a bad precedent. Acharya Vikramaditya.
Even Mr. Satyavadi, I don't think, 10 seconds, Padmaja,
okay, 10 seconds,
I just want to record here that the people who are all talking about Pathaan and Shah Rukh Khan, sir, Salman Khan made a movie called Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Salman Khan's mother was a Hindu. He practices Hanuman Chaturthi and Dashera every year. I mean, these people are living above religious considerations. But we are branding them, not we, not us, you and people like you are branding them and creating an issue where there is none. If you can make a decision about a movie, you can determine the entire movie's content based on a song and the movie's title. I'm very afraid to say what are the kind of movies that we've had. How come you guys did not protest for a movie like Kabir Singh? Kabir Singh also, how come you did not protest for all the movies that showed misogyny and almost pedophilia on screen?
And we set a dangerous precedent
skimpy outfits
of this double censorship.
That is just so scary. And here's the one thing
let him respond.
Really
Acharya Vikramaditya, respond.
Talking about culture is one thing, but talking about faith, saying that faith is glorious.
Okay, let him respond.
First, we have to understand what the culture is basically.
One faith in India.
People talking about the thing, but they should have a basic understanding of the culture. For what purpose these films are being made? Just for the money? Just for the commercialization?
Sir,
what kind of commercialization is thing? They are selling the nudity. Purely they are selling the nudity.
So
this is purely a nudity if you are selling, which you are selling just for the sake of the money. This is not for, this is for the entertainment, but what kind of nudity you are selling, you have to see this thing. Our culture is just to respect the woman, not for these kind of films which you are making. The
with
whole
the greatest
Bollywood
of respect, sir, our culture is to respect women irrespective of what they wear. Our culture doesn't say respect women who are wearing sarees and don't respect them if they are wearing bikinis. That is the problem. We are reducing our culture to very small, shallow things. Our culture is more than a woman's clothes.
We have to respect the girl.
Padmaja,
we have to respect. We have to respect.
In her
what kind of films you are making? You have to understand. Either you certify them as A. Either you certify them just these films are not for the age below the 18 and all that. Either you certify them.
Part of culture. What have we come to?
Either you certify them the things. Nowadays, what is happening in all the OTT levels, in most of the Bollywood films, they are basically the language which they are using. You have to see that thing also. What kind of knowledge which we are spreading? We are living in the country which have a very rich culture.
But our culture is that we respect women irrespective of what they wear. Our culture is not about making women cover up. That is my whole point, sir. You are reducing the idea of our culture.
This is not a matter of we are not saying to say use the burqa and all that. We are not saying that. But at least there should be age limit for the people. Basically, what you are saying, the people, school-going children should watch these kind of films, and the way.
But that's up to the censor board, and if the censor board has made it UA, then it will be UA.
Which was released, and the 18, the 20 to 22nd, the trailer which was released, that was a clear adultery. Basically, that was
adultery. How is it adultery? It is just two individuals who consensually are dancing together in clothes that they are comfortable in. And we have decided that our culture is threatened because two human beings in a 2-hour-long movie are dancing together for 30 seconds.
That was purely a case of nudity.
It's a case of nudity. Nasir Abdullah.
Even for the few seconds also, even for a few seconds, you can explain the nudity. What is nudity? Even just go in a school, children just ask for, even a layman, he will say this thing. This is Shah Rukh
Khan being bare-chested a part of our culture, or is that also anti-culture? Go on, Mr. Abdullah, respond.
That depends upon the mindset of the people, whosoever are sitting things and whosoever are watching these kinds of movies.
Yes. Right, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, here is the thing I want to say. I'm only going to say what has been happening. No, the facts that I have seen and heard from responsible people from all sides. So, it has started with a gentleman from the Madhya Pradesh government, Home Minister, Mr. Mishra, whoever, who said all this is there. There is the vitiation of the saffron color, and it looks ashleel and all that. Plus, and then he adds, believe you me, these are his words, not mine. He said, and also, Deepika Padukone went to JNU to meet these guys from the Tukde Tukde gang or whatever. She didn't make any speech. She didn't show any support. So he's actually saying also we are going to punish her for that. So it's a mix and match. They are using one bullet to kill 3 birds. Then there is a lady called Charlene Chopra recently arrived, and she's saying the saffron is the color of the flag. She's really confused. She said it cannot be used because the flag. And then we said, what about green? She said even green can't be used because it's the color of the flag. This is what is going on. So we said, okay, white also can't be used because it's in the... So there's a big, huge confusion. And they're going around hither and thither. Nobody, here is the deal. Nobody is looking at what that gentleman saw. People want entertainment. They will see a scene in which there are 12 other colors and they will go home. But now this is the impact of what Mr. Mishra said. Even I'm looking at the scene because I've been brainwashed and this nail has been driven into my head. Even I'm thinking, oh my God, this is looking a bit strange. Not nice. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm the coward. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm about to finish. Don't be afraid. Do not interrupt. You're a Gyani. You're a Gyani. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I am the coward. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay, if we are going to keep yelling at each other, nobody is going to be hurt. So, Acharya ji, give him 30 seconds. Let him finish. Mr. Abdullah, finish your point in 30 seconds. Then he can respond and I can bring in Qamar Zaman Chaudhary.
Can you ask him to keep quiet?
Yes, go on.
It's okay. शांत हो जाओ भारतीय, शांत हो जाइए, शांत हो जाइए. ऐसी कोई घबराने की बात नहीं है. सब ठीक हो जाएगा. लड़का ही होगा. घबराइए मत. घबराइए मत. मैं सिर्फ वो बात बता रहा हूँ जो मैंने देखी है और सुनी है. सुनी है. हाँ, तो फिर मुझे बात करने दीजिए. अगर घबरा नहीं रहे तो बात करने दीजिए. बात करने दीजिए. बात करने दीजिए. बात करने दीजिए.
पैसा 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 एंटरटेनमेंट के नाम पे पैसा बेच रहे हैं.
बात करने दीजिए.
Okay, again, gentlemen, I request you, please, Mr. Abdullah, only Mr. Abdullah will speak. 30 seconds. Finish your point. Yes.
I am the coward. Can you bring down his volume, Padmana? Yeah, how do I finish? Yeah, easy for you to say. Yeah, so here is the deal. Nobody is interested. And nobody really cares. But because this has been hammered into the minds of the people repeatedly, they will start to think. It started with two people who come with a magnifying glass to say, oh, they're waiting. Don't they have anything better to do? People are dying on the streets. People are hungry, lining up for free food. Why are you looking at little garments of the film industry where there is a song? Come on, there are 12 other colors in the film. Why? So I can see they're very confused. They start with this, then Charlene Chopra says the national flag is being also insulted.
But
I mean,
sir,
it's going crazy.
Nobody,
it's not
I mean,
fair. Do it
Charlene
in a
Chopra
nicer
doesn't
way.
decide what a film is like. The censor board does, and the censor board has sent out a message saying that we have got absolutely no bias when it comes to colors. More specifically, it says, as far as costume colors are concerned, the committee has stayed unbiased. Mr. Abdullah.
This is not the way. This is not the way. Madam, this is not the way. Don't give me a speech. This is not the way. Gundagardi. They're saying they'll burn Shah Rukh Khan alive. Where is this word coming to?
I am not doing any gundagardi. I am reading out to you what the censor board is saying.
I think the Prime Minister's office should come into it.
Censor board is saying that we are going to stay unbiased as far as the color of the clothes is concerned.
I am talking about the threats that have come from one of these sannyasi guys. They said we will burn Shah Rukh Khan alive.
Whoever has said that should be arrested without a doubt.
This is not fair. This is not the way.
But that person does not decide how a film is going to be certified. The censor board does.
A point.
The censor board does.
Last point. Last point.
Yes,
last point. Last point.
Yes.
No. Send one of your people to the censor board. Let him stay there. Send one of the people to the censor board from your whatever. He will, with a magnifying glass, see what is wrong with the making of the film, and he will end it. Why don't you do that?
I'm not going to send anyone. I don't believe in censorship at all. Whoever has a problem, they can send. Okay, let Sangeet Ragi respond. Professor Ragi, yes, go on.
Yeah, so obviously they will send. I'm not asking you to send. I'm not asking you to send
them.
Okay,
fine.
I'm
Professor
not
Ragi.
asking you to send them. I'm telling them, the people who object, they should take precautions.
Padmaja, I completely agree with you that culture cannot be reduced to some clothes, who is wearing what. My question is larger. Is it creativity at all? Is it the kind, are you selling some new kind of ideas that is wrapped in the, in terms of the art and culture? Am I audible to you? I think that I am.
Please, yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, sir. Go on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go on.
Yeah. So, Padmaja, the important question is why people have raised this question? Because there is a pattern in the Bollywood. After all, the symbols that we use also expresses some meaning. Rightly said, the Indian flag comprises of 3 colors. So somebody tomorrow may say that what is in that? This is just a piece of color. And there is also a conception, banal nationalism, that repeatedly you say that this is my flag, and you own it someday. And therefore, if somebody, mistreats it, then you feel offended. Similarly about the color also. The Bollywood, we cannot say what the Bollywood say, but at the same time, if the people have the sentiments, they also are entitled to express their opinion. They also are, in a democratic country, have all rights to oppose such kind of thing.
They have the right to express
and
their
that
opinion,
is what they are
but
doing.
that should not translate
they
into censorship. That should not be the right of a mob on the road. That should be the right only of the censor board.
No. It is not. No, Padmaja, it is not the mob which is asking, to do the people are only hitting the streets, which is their democratic rights. If they are not saying that they will, burn the offices of the censor board, how did they allow it? Yes, I have every question to. I am particularly, unhappy with the censor board.
Okay.
That they have no understanding of Indian culture either.
Kamal Zaman Chaudhary, people have the right to oppose.
Why
and
they
oppose
are not
peacefully,
censored?
because
They haven't gone.
that's what happens in a democracy.
They haven't gone through it properly. I think that the people who are the part of the censor board haven't gone through the people.
First and foremost on this particular issue.
Go through the dialogue.
सर मैंने सुन लिया सर मैंने आपका बात सुन लिया सर. आपको पसंद नहीं है फिल्म मत देखो, बस सिंपल सॉल्यूशन यही है. But let me come to the point out here. Padmaja, my take on this particular issue tonight will be that I find a certain toolkit operating from the Sangh Parivar Darbaris in India right now to browbeat Bollywood into submission. Either you submit to the type of films that we want to watch, we like to watch, that will only be passing through into the cinema theatres. That is point number one. Now, why do I say it is a toolkit? You know, on April 4, 2021, the government of India passed an ordinance passed by Anurag Thakur about the Film Certification Appellate Tribunal. It was disbanded. Now, if a particular producer has got any problem with the censor board, then it's supposed to be appealing at the tribunal. But the government has done away with the tribunal, citing that the tribunal is non-existent. But then the next step of redressal is the High Court. You imagine a small producer going to the High Court for appeals and appeal and appeal. And do you think the High Court has got that much of time to listen to these film certification issues? There are levels of certification already in the censor board, whether there is a nudity present, certified is for restricted audiences. Then you have got the US certifications, other certifications are there. Then why the problem now, right now, is that the simple logic is that, you know, when the lipstick under my burqa came out, then you heard about Palaj Nehlani. He was sacked from the censor board because he did not allow the film to be published. These are the cases. Now, if I say that next time the censor board should be scrapped like the appellate tribunal, because the censor board is not going to decide which film me or my children or my family or you watch. It's going to be decided by these Sangh Parivar Darbaris. They will say, no, Bikini is in an orange color, it is hurting our religious sentiment. Somebody else tomorrow will come and say that green color is our color, so it is going to hurt our sentiments. Now, what bullshit have you reduced this country
Language,
to?
please.
Certification on the
I am the censor on my show. Let's Acharya Vikramaditya respond to that. Yes, it's an agenda. Yes, go on.
This is not related to the culture, basically.
Acharya Vikramaditya, yes.
My point is basically the whole Bollywood, the thing is being done just for the पैसा. पैसे के लिए सारा कार्य किया जा रहा है. इसका कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, किसी प्रकार भी करें. ये केवल कल्चर को बेच दे, कुछ भी बेच दे. जिस प्रकार से कार्य कर रहे हैं, इनको बेसिक चीज समझ में नहीं आती है. लेकिन संघ परिवार बीच में आ गए. संघ का क्या मतलब इन सब चीजों से? अगर मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो मैं भी सिटीजन हूं इस देश का. अगर आप लोग नहीं सुनेंगे, सेंसर नहीं सुनेगा, तो मैं जाऊंगा हाई कोर्ट में जाकर आपके लिए सर कटने. जब वो गैंग की तरह तो नहीं खड़े हो रहे हैं ना, जो रोड पर आके आपकी जो आप अल्लाह अकबर की बात जो बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट आ जाते हैं उसके ऊपर आगे आप लोग ऑब्जेक्शन लोग करने शुरू कर देते हैं. हमने कल्चरल वे से ऑब्जेक्शन किया. एक आपने जो पैसे के लिए.
Let's not make this communal. With the greatest of respect to everyone and their sensitivities and their sensibilities, I think the best distillation of thought has been done by the censor board itself, which has said that yes, sensibilities must be respected, but we must not reduce culture to the idea of what someone is wearing, what someone is saying. Culture is a very nuanced and a very deep aspect of our civilization. Please, let's not cheapen it by getting into debates like this one. Anyhow, very few days left for the film to be released. Let's see exactly where the censor board has taken a stand when it comes to all of these objections. Thanks very much, all gentlemen and Kasturi, for joining me.